Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Quite a few things to discuss about on this video today, so if you do consider dropping likes and if you do consider subscribe as always. So big breaking news now is coming out of the press. So I've been reading a bit of Arsenal's transfer news of what's currently going on with them, as we all know, because essentially they can't make any permanent signings in this January window. Zoom is obviously confirmed, and he's looking to get a winger in. He's also keen on getting a central defender in, as we all currently know. But due to the financial restrictions, they can't make any permanent signs in this January window. Obviously, Azum Remre is obviously confirmed, but he's desperate to get one or two loan signings in before this currently January window ends, because they have got injury problems of Arsenal, as we all know. Ozil's future still uncertain, and obviously they're looking for a replacement for Aaron Ramsey, as we all currently know, because their objective this season is to get into the top four and to invest more money into their club and to attract players' interest. As I currently said, but it's only Remember's first season, as we all currently know, considering that they are limited to transfer funds. He has done a good job this season, got them on a 22-match unbeaten run early on in the season as well. But Arsenal's structure is totally different to the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea, who've had a really good January transfer window, to quite fair, and Liverpool's. Arsenal's structure is totally different because they haven't been getting the right amount of funds to spend on currently players they want. But bit of positive news coming from the media, for these Arsenal fans, because reportedly they've been interested in the likes of Denis Suarez. They've been interested in Denis Suarez. They've been interested in the likes of James Rodriguez, and they've been interested in a few other targets as well of Arsenal. But reportedly, what's been mentioned in the press, reports were stemming from yesterday. Reportedly, Arsenal have expressed their interest in Christopher Nkunku, however you pronounce his surname. He's a PSG midfielder, reportedly. Currently, Thomas Tuchel, the PSG boss, however you pronounce his name, has agreed to let him join Arsenal on loan for 6 months, and then reportedly Arsenal have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer, buying around 17 million pounds. Reportedly, from the own player's perspective, Christopher Nkunku is a France under 21 international. This player is a PSG midfielder. From his perspective, reportedly he wants to join Arsenal and he wants to reunite with Remre. So there has been reports stemming from France Football that reportedly Arsenal have expressed their interest, and Arsenal have been in negotiations with Paris Saint-Germain over this. But reportedly Paris Saint-Germain have agreed to let him go to Arsenal on a 6-month loan. But reportedly, the boss has confirmed that the PSG boss, but reportedly PSG want replacements in their midfield, so they want to bring 2 new faces in before they let Christopher Nkunku go, reportedly, because obviously they've got Verratti now, who suffered an injury. Obviously, it's looking like Adrien Rabiot is going to be leaving PSG as well, because obviously there's been no sign of him signing a new contract with Paris Saint-Germain. Reportedly, it's been looking likely Adrien Rabiot has been at PSG the majority of his career. As we all currently know, he's won 16 major honours, been in the first team since 2012, as we all know, but there's been no sign of him as signing a new contract with Paris Saint-Germain. Allegedly, he said he'd agreed terms to join Barcelona, Adrien Rabiot, in the summer when his contract expires. But reportedly, now it's turned a twist, because now Barcelona have obviously signed Frankie de Jong from Ajax for 65 million. Barcelona obviously got Kevin Prince Boateng as well, didn't they? So they have got quite a few midfielders at Barcelona. So essentially, it did say now Tottenham had reportedly jumped in the race. France Football had actually reported that Tottenham had jumped in the race for the player. And Pochettino, it did say Pochettino was set to hold talks with Adrien Rabiot, reportedly of convincing him to join Tottenham Hotspur. Reportedly, his price tag will be around 13-14 million pounds or something like that with Adrien Rabiot, reportedly. So essentially, PSG want reinforcements in their midfield before they let Christopher Nkunku go to Arsenal on a 6-month loan. But he's an under 20. He hasn't made his senior debut yet for France. He's an under 21 French player. Is his player being at PSG the majority of his career? So he's age 21. As I said, so he's got a lot of years to grow and develop. As I said, and do you think he'd fit in the Arsenal team very well? Because he hasn't been a regular this season, for PSG. To be quite honest with you, this Christopher Nkunku, he hasn't been a regular this season. So potentially he has fallen out of favour due to this. He wants to go to Arsenal, and he actually does want to reunite with Remre, because Remre knows him and he knows Remre well. Obviously, when Remre was at Paris Saint-Germain, as we all know, and he did give him game time to do Remre, Christopher Nkunku, when he was at Paris Saint-Germain. Remre, as I couldn't said, but he's only age 21, this player. But reports coming out from the France Football saying that Arsenal have been in talks with Paris Saint-Germain over this. And reportedly, Arsenal, the PSG boss has actually agreed to let him go on a 6-month loan to Arsenal. Then Arsenal have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer, depending how he progresses. They've got to see how he fits in the team, Arsenal as well. So basically, Christopher Nkunku, we don't really know much about him. I've never even heard of the player, to be quite honest with you, but Arsenal have expressed an interest in him. Obviously, Arsenal are obviously seeing him as an alternative for Denis Suarez, because now that looks unlikely now that they're going to get Denis Suarez, as we all know, because the narrative about us, the narrative's been going on about this for a long time, Arsenal getting the pursuit of Denis Suarez, as we all currently know. But as talks were coming out in the press the other day, in the media, saying that talks had broken down between Arsenal and Barcelona due to that Arsenal were refusing to commit to a permanent deal in the summer. But it did say Arsenal had actually agreed to pay the loan fee, which was around £2 million, and then have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer by paying just under £20 million. But Arsenal have refused to commit to a permanent deal in the summer, and this is what Barcelona want Arsenal to do. They want them to commit to a permanent deal in the summer, because Barcelona actually want to sanction him off Denis Suarez, and they want to raise some money for Denis Suarez. The Barcelona want to cash in for the player, of course, but obviously now they've got Kevin Prince bought him. But Arsenal and Barcelona have been in negotiations about this, as we all know. Barcelona did say to Denis Suarez they wanted him to sign in a new contract extension before he joins Arsenal on loan. Denis Suarez reportedly refuses, but Arsenal have been in negotiations with Barcelona. Arsenal have approached Denis Suarez's representatives over this. His current deal ends with Barcelona in 2020. As we all currently know, he was keen on reuniting with whom was Denis Suarez, because they worked together, when Denis Suarez was at Sevilla, as we all know. 25 years of age, as we all know, and it's been Arsenal's, priority target, as we all know, as Denis Suarez, and potentially, Denis Suarez, he's versatile, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play central, so he's more experienced than Christopher Nkunku. But now Arsenal's pursuit of Denis Suarez does look in jeopardy, because it did confirm that talks had broken down between the two clubs, because they were struggling to come to an agreement on a permanent deal for the summer, and this is why Arsenal have not got Denis Suarez, so now their pursuit of Denis Suarez looks highly unlikely, as we are more currently on. Even the Barcelona president, did confirm earlier this month he was going to promise Denis Suarez a move to Arsenal this month, and it was going to be on loan, obviously, and then Arsenal would have the option, to make the deal permanent in the summer. And he was left out of the Barcelona squad as well the other day, was Denis Suarez, and he actually began his youth career with Manchester City. But as he did say, do you think he'd fit in Arsenal's team well? Arsenal think about, I'd have to think about where his favourite position would be. But now reportedly it does look in jeopardy. But it was coming out in the press, the other day, suggesting now regarding if Arsenal can get a couple of loan deals, where they will soften their stance on Aaron Ramsey, and maybe let him go to Juventus in this January transfer window rather than let him go in the summer. Free transfer, and Arsenal will probably recommend that the one around £10 million for Aaron Ramsey, because obviously they could see Christopher Nkunku, as a replacement for Aaron Ramsey. To be quite honest with you, Aaron Ramsey's obviously signed a pre-contract agreement deal to join Juventus, as we all currently know. It probably will be in the summer now that he does join Juventus. Aaron Ramsey, but he's going to be the second highest paid player with Juventus. Is Aaron Ramsey, as he has confirmed, but he's been a good servant for Arsenal over the years. He's grown and developed very well. He's been at Arsenal 10 years now, made of 300 odd appearances, as we all currently know as Aaron Ramsey, and he's won 3 FA Cups with Arsenal and obviously scored in 2 of the finals as well. And he's still a very, very good box-to-box midfielder, and he's still playing very, very well for Arsenal, even though he knows he's going to be leaving, as we all currently know. But yeah, Aaron Ramsey is going to be going to Juventus, whether it's going to be his January window or whether it's going to be this summer. It probably will be in the summer, to quite honestly, unless Arsenal can get a couple of loan deals. Umremme will soften his stance and probably let him go in this January transfer window, as we all know. But they can see this Christopher Nkunku as a replacement for Aaron Ramsey. As I did say, he's a France under-21 international. France Football reported Arsenal have been in talks with Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal have been in talks with Paris Saint-Germain over this. Reportedly, the player wants to make the move to Arsenal. The PSG bosses reportedly agreed to let him go on loan, but first PSG want reinforcements in their midfield, reportedly, before this happens. Obviously, of course, they've got Neymar injured at the moment as well, so they do want reinforcements to Paris Saint-Germain for this as well. But it's obviously looking likely that PSG are going to get a replacement for Adrien Rabiot, because they're on the brink of getting Leandro Paredes. That's been potentially, Chelsea target, as we all know, and confirmed couple of weeks ago, was it, in the press, Chelsea being in negotiations, with Zenit St. Petersburg over this. Is 24 years of age, is Leandro Paredes, and it was looking likely that Chelsea were going to sign him because Chelsea want a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, as we all know. But this reportedly hasn't materialised now. Chelsea did agree a contract and personal terms with the player, but a fee never come to an agreement. Chelsea had 2 bids turned down. Zenit demanded that they wanted around £36 million for Leandro Paredes, but reportedly now PSG have jumped in. PSG have held negotiations. The player's been to Paris Saint-Germain himself, and PSG, I think, have agreed a fee of around £35 million for Leandro Paredes. As I said, as I did say, Chelsea would be disappointed about that, because PSG have basically hijacked their move because it's been looking likely Chelsea are going to get him. But PSG are going to see Leandro Paredes as a replacement for Adrien Rabiot, as we all know. And Zenit paid, £24 million for him from Roma. Played in his boyhood club. His boyhood club was Boca Juniors, wasn't it? Was Leandro Paredes, as we all currently know. But yeah, PSG have reportedly agreed the fee, and they've reached a personal agreement to get Leandro Paredes on the board. So PSG could potentially see Leandro Paredes as a replacement for Adrien Rabiot. But Adrien Rabiot. But yeah. Arsenal on the brink of getting this 6-month loan for Christopher Nkunku. Reportedly, good news this for these Arsenal fans. Reportedly, as I did currently say, but the transfer policy is very, very poor because, as I did say, they haven't been getting the right amount of funds to spend on currently players. But do you think he'll go and develop? And this Christopher Nkunku, however you pronounce his name, do you think he'll flourish, under Unai Because he does know Unai. He's had experience of playing under Unai as Christopher Nkunku. 21 years of age, spent the majority of his career with Paris Saint-Germain, to quite honest. But this season he's found game time very, very difficult. As this Christopher Nkunku, as I currently said. But we know, obviously, Ozil's future is still very, very uncertain with Arsenal, as we all currently know. There's been strong speculation about him leaving the club as well. Obviously, Arsenal have got average players on big contracts, and obviously Ozil's Arsenal's highest player is on £350,000 a week, as we all know, is Mesut Ozil. But there's been strong speculation of him leaving due to that. He hasn't been getting enough game time this season. He's had a few injury problems, and he struggled to adapt himself under Unai. So there's been strong speculation of Mesut Ozil leaving. He's been in the Premier League 6 years. Arsenal, paid £42.5 million from Real Madrid. He's been good throughout the years. With Arsenal, he is age now 30. Of course, is Mesut Ozil. But there's been strong speculation of him leaving, and reportedly, Inter Milan have reportedly been interested getting Mesut Ozil on board. As Unai did confirm, he wanted to sell him to raise some funds, and he actually demanded Mesut Ozil to leave. And this is what potentially, Unai suggested out reportedly as well. So potentially, Arsenal may want to try and find a replacement for him if he does go. I don't know if he'll go or not. I'm not too sure, but obviously Arsenal will recommend a fee for him because he signed a new contract worth £350,000 a week, as we all know. But we know Arsenal have also been inquiring about the possibility of James Rodriguez. Now, he's been potentially mentioned that Arsenal have inquired about getting him on loan as well, James Rodriguez. Potentially he's on a 2-year loan deal with Bayern Munich. Well, he's got 6 months left of that loan. 6 months left of that loan. Bayern Munich do have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer, but this won't happen. He's likely he's going to be going back to Real Madrid, and then Real Madrid are keen to sell James Rodriguez, reportedly. But reportedly, Real Madrid have reportedly called it the AS Spanish outlet. They have different plans. They're planning to use Rodriguez in their pursuit to land Christian Eriksen, because we know Christian Eriksen has been a potential Real Madrid target, as we all know. So they could offer him to Tottenham, James Rodriguez, and so they could get Christian Eriksen, to Real Madrid, reportedly as well. But Arsenal have been in negotiation. It did say it could cost Arsenal around £3 million for the loan fee, reportedly for James Rodriguez, but that also now could be in jeopardy. But Arsenal have, it's come out in the last week that Arsenal have been in contact with Real Madrid over this, as I currently said. But yeah, Arsenal definitely need reinforcements. Obviously got injury problems as well. Did Sam Ramsey's going. Danny Welbeck's out for this season. He's going to be likely to be going as well. Ozil's future is still uncertain with the club as well. But reportedly they've showed an interest in this Christopher Nkunku, reportedly. PSG midfielder. PSG boss Thomas Tuchel has reportedly agreed to let him go to Arsenal on loan. PSG want reinforcements in the midfield first. They're on the brink of getting Leandro Paredes. as I currently said. And obviously, Adrien Rabiot obviously is likely to leave Paris Saint-Germain, whether it's going to be in his January window, whether it's going to be in the summer or not. I do when his contract expires. I do not know, but reportedly Arsenal can make the deal permanent in the summer if they pay around £17 million for the player, which is quite cheap to be fair. Don't really know much about him. I know he was quite a regular, when he was under the management of Unai, but since Thomas Tuchel has come in at Paris Saint-Germain, he hasn't really been a regular. This Christopher Nkunku. So reportedly, France Football reported that Arsenal have been in negotiations and they showed a strong interest. But there are media reports coming out of the media yesterday. If you didn't realise it, as I updated you about that a couple of times yesterday, reportedly Arsenal were reportedly interested in Radjic Nainggolan. It did say a host of clubs were interested in Radjic Nainggolan. Reportedly very competitive, got a lot of tenacity by his player. Radjic Nainggolan, he's spent most of his playing career in Italy, and he's gone to make over 290 Serie A appearances. Radjic Nainggolan, I think he's 30 years old now, isn't he? Radjic Nainggolan, he's played 30 times for Belgium, scored 6 goals, in 8 years, for Belgium as well, as Radjic Nainggolan. But reports are stemming from the Italian press yesterday. There were a lot of news coming out from Italian sources suggesting out that Inter Milan were willing to let Radjic Nainggolan go in this January transfer window because he's endured a difficult start, to his 6 months, to Inter Milan reportedly. Inter Milan got him last summer from Roma for, was it around €38 million? I think, a player was included as well. He has got a contract with Inter Milan until 2022 as Radjic Nainggolan, as we all currently know. Reportedly, they want around €30 million for him, reportedly. But reportedly, it did say Arsenal were in pole position to get him. It did mention that Tottenham were interested, my club Man United were interested in him. It did say Chelsea were interested in him as well. So it did say there were a host of clubs interested in him as well. But reportedly, it did say Inter Milan were looking to sanction the playoffs. So a lot of Italian reports coming out saying that they were preparing to sanction Radjic Nainggolan off, as we all currently know. But it did say Arsenal were in pole position to get him. It did say Man United had expressed their interest in. We were linked to him a couple of years ago, to be quite fair. He was actually one of our first choice, but we ended up getting his second or third choice, which was Manu Matic, of course. We were linked to him, was it a year or so ago? We were linked with Radjic Nainggolan, as I said, but he's got a lot of good physical attributes. He's grown and developed very, very well, and I think he's a very, very good midfield. He's defensively good. His stability is very, very good. And it would be good for him, to experience the Premier League, Radjic Nainggolan. But there were rumours coming out yesterday saying that Inter Milan were preparing to sanction him off as well. Going back to this Christopher Nkunku, as I currently said, PSG player, 21 years of age, as I currently said, found game time difficult this season. Arsenal have inquired about it. They've been in negotiation with Paris Saint-Germain, according to France Football. Arsenal have strongly expressed their interest in him. Reportedly, from the own player's perspective, he wants to make the move to the Emirates, so he can reunite with Unai. So this could be positive news for Arsenal. As I currently said, they could see him as a replacement, of course, for Aaron Ramsey, as I currently said. But yeah, that's the latest Arsenal transfer news update. Obviously, Petr Cech's going to be retiring at the end of the season. Obviously, as I confirmed to you guys that to you a couple of weeks ago, when it got announced he's going to be retiring at the end of the season as well. So maybe Arsenal will want to get a goalkeeper as well, when he retires as well. They did get Leno last summer. Attackably, Arsenal look good because they've got Aubameyang and Lacazette that are, a good partnership. They combine well together and they score goals, as I currently said. So they need a winger and they need a central defender, and obviously looking for a replacement for Aaron Ramsey. So Christopher Nkunku now could be number one. He is an alternative to Denis Suarez because Denis Suarez's deal now looks in jeopardy. So they have turned their attentions to Christopher Nkunku. As I said, so probably now Denis Suarez will probably remain at Barcelona until the end of the season. As I currently said. We'll update you on a bit of a Chelsea. We'll update you on a bit of Chelsea's transfer news as well. That's going on in the media, as I said. Obviously, Chelsea won yesterday by 2-1. So they are now in the UEFA. They are now in the EFL Cup final. Chelsea against Manchester City, as we all currently know. But Chelsea, as we all know, Sarri wants to replace him with Cesc Fabregas, as we all know. David Luiz's contract comes to an end in the summer. Gary Cahill could be leaving. There's been strong speculation of Callum Hudson, leaving Chelsea as well. So Chelsea could see quite a few of their players going. Obviously, Eden Hazard's future is uncertain with Chelsea, as I currently said. But obviously, Chelsea have obviously confirmed the signing of Gonzalo Higuain, as I've already updated you. And I think he'll be a really, really good signing for Chelsea, to be quite honest with you. Chelsea have agreed to get him on a 6-month loan from Juventus. Well, initially was on loan to get him on a 6-month loan. Probably likely, if he meets certain targets, will develop into a further 12 months. Chelsea would have to pay around 15-16 million pounds, but they do have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer by paying around 30 odd million pounds Gonzalo Higuain. But it's confirmed he's going to be fulfilling that number 9. This will allow Eden Hazard to go back in his favoured position on the left-hand side, because he's recently been playing in a false number 9 position as Eden Hazard. What are you doing?
You want an egg butter?
Yeah.
Bring that cup down from there.
Yeah, I do. Because we recently Eden Hazard's been playing in a false number 9 position now. With the signing of Gonzalo Higuain, that will allow him to go back in his favoured position, Eden Hazard, as we all know. But yeah, I think Gonzalo Higuain will be really, really good signing. He'll score them goals, as Sarri hopes he can bring them goals. You know, he can lead the lines. And, you know, Sarri's convinced he will do this. He didn't do so good at Milan, but the majority of his playing career, you know, Gonzalo Higuain has been a fantastic player. You know, when he's a lot younger in his prime in Real Madrid, he had 6 good years. He scored 107 goals in 109 appearances. In his 3 years with Napoli, he scored 36 goals in 1 season, broke the Serie A record. In his 2-year spell with Juventus, he scored 40 goals in 2 seasons as well. Didn't really do well at AC Milan, but I think it's good for him to experience the Premier League, and I think he's going to do well at Chelsea. And I think his wages are going to be around £270,000 a week. Gonzalo Higuain. He's set to make his debut on Sunday in the FA Cup. I think it's Wednesday or Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday. It's one of them anyway. But he's set to make his debut on Sunday. He's Gonzalo Higuain. He is now reuniting with Sarri, as we all know. And Sarri knows him well, and he knows Sarri well, as we all know. So I think he'll fit in the Chelsea team well, because that's their problem this season, Chelsea. They have been lacking goals, as we all know, because Morata's cost them points because he's missed a lot of golden opportunities. But I think, you know, Gonzalo Higuain, you know, will score them goals, and he's a proven prolific goal scorer. I said 31 years of age, as we all currently know. But Giroud's even been struggling to score goals for Chelsea. Morata's been struggling to score goals for Chelsea. But now he's officially a Chelsea player. I think AC Milan did get a replacement for him, as I currently said. But that's been officially announced, as we all currently know. But obviously now we've got Chelsea signing Gonzalo Higuain. Obviously Morata, he's going to be going to Atletico Madrid, as we all know. It's not been officially finalised yet of him officially joining Atletico Madrid on loan. Reportedly Morata's going to be joining Atletico Madrid on a 6-month loan, or is it an 18-month loan? But then Atletico Madrid have the option to make the deal permanent by paying just under £50 million for Alvaro Morata. Morata did confirm he was willing to take a pay cut, as he did confirm Alvaro Morata. He said he was willing to take a pay cut because a few other teams have expressed their interest in him. But, you know, Atletico Madrid now are the favourites. I think Chelsea have agreed a deal with Atletico Madrid over this. So he is going to be joining Atletico Madrid. Is Alvaro Morata? Well, it's looking likely he's going to be joining Atletico Madrid. He's going to be on loan, and then they have the option to make the deal permanent in the summer by paying him, 48 million, something like that. Atletico Madrid, but obviously that was his boyhood club. Atletico Madrid was Alvaro Morata's, as we all currently know. But, you know, it's been disappointing for Chelsea, you know, to be quite honest with you, been very, very disappointing. You know, Sarri confirmed he wanted to leave Chelsea last month. I think, you know, he confirmed he wanted to depart then. Morata's been a disappointment because Chelsea paid, 60-odd million pounds for him in 2017. He signed a 5-year deal with Chelsea, of course, when he signed. And he's been very, very poor as Alvaro Morata. And obviously hasn't been Sarri's number one. He has fallen down the pecking order as Alvaro Morata. Not Sarri's number one choice, as we all know. So he has failed to emulate, you know, what he did at the likes of Real Madrid. You know, spent most of his senior playing career there, and he had 2 good years at Juventus as well. But he's failed to emulate that at Chelsea as Alvaro Morata, and he has been struggling for goals, as we all know. So potentially hasn't lived up to expectation levels at Stamford Bridge as Morata. So it's looking likely now they've got Gonzalo Higuain in. You know, Morata's going to be departing for Atletico Madrid, as we all know, because Atletico Madrid have been in, you know, talks with Chelsea over this, as I said. As I did say, I think, you know, Callum Hudson, you know, could be leaving Chelsea as well. He's actually demanded, he's confirmed, Callum Hudson, that he doesn't want to make the move. He wants to leave Chelsea. He's asked Chelsea to let him leave. He obviously wants to make the move to Bayern Munich, does Callum Hudson, as I currently said. He does want to make the move to Bayern Munich, does Callum Hudson. But reportedly, Bayern Munich are monster favourites to get Callum Hudson because he's frustrated with the lack of game time he's been getting this season in the Premier League. He's only played, 61 minutes of Premier League football this season as Callum Hudson. So he's frustrated with the lack of game time he's currently getting with Chelsea, Callum Hudson, as we all know. Reportedly, Bayern Munich have been in talks over this. Bayern Munich have had put in 3, I think Chelsea turned 3 bids down. Bayern Munich's 4th bid was around 35 million. That was Chelsea's valuation. Chelsea are still still keen on keeping him, but reportedly Bayern Munich have offered him the number 10 role to fulfill at Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich are looking to get some young players into their team, as we all know. Callum Hudson's refusing to extend his contract because his current deal comes to an end in 2020. As we all know, Callum Hudson adores. And reportedly, actually said that Liverpool have reportedly expressed an interest in the 18-year-old as well. Liverpool reportedly the German press reported that Liverpool have met with the player and met with his current representatives. So Liverpool have reportedly been interested in Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. But Chelsea wouldn't want to sell to an arch rival in the Premier League anyway. But they don't want to sell him. They don't want to sell Callum Hudson at all. They were Chelsea, as we all know. But from the player's perspective, he does want to make the move, as it has confirmed, because he's going to struggle for game time. But if he goes to Munich, who probably be guaranteed first team football, will Callum Hudson, as we all know. So Bayern Munich are probably a monster favourites, to get him on the board, as I currently said. And talking about Eden Hazard, his future's still uncertain with Chelsea, as we all know. Because last summer, he said after the World Cup, did Eden Hazard, that he did want to leave Chelsea. He's been linked to a move to Real Madrid. There's been no sign of him as yet, signing a new contract with Chelsea. Eden Hazard, potentially the third best player in the Premier League, behind Salah and Kevin De Bruyne. As we all know, he's Eden Hazard. And now he's going to be put back in his favourite position on the left-hand side now. Chelsea have confirmed the signing of Gonzalo Higuain. As I did say, he'll be back now on the left-hand side with Eden Hazard. There's still been Chelsea fans convinced, that he will leave Chelsea, Eden Hazard. He's grown and developed very, very well in his mid-20s now. He's been at Chelsea since 2012, as we all currently know as the player. But yeah, very, very good player, as I said. Can score goals, can lead the lines, fast on the ball. Yeah, very, very good player, as I said. So Chelsea will be desperate to keep him. But we know that he has been linked with a move to Real Madrid, so he hasn't ruled himself out of making a move to Real Madrid this summer, Eden Hazard, as we all know. But his future is still uncertain at Stamford Bridge, as we all know. His future is still uncertain with Chelsea, as we all know. He's scored like over 100 goals now for Chelsea, as Eden Hazard. So yeah, that's mainly Chelsea's transfer news to update, but they want a replacement for Fabregas. They want a backup option for Jorginho as well. And talking with Leandro Paredes, that looks in jeopardy now because it looks like he's going to Paris Saint-Germain. So they've missed out on Leandro Paredes, as we more quickly know, of Chelsea. But going back to what I was saying about, Arsenal's news. So reportedly now, they see Christopher Nkunku as an alternative for Denis Suarez because their pursuit has probably come to an end now for getting Denis Suarez's Arsenal's. So they've got an alternative, which is Christopher Nkunku, PSG player, France under 21 international, as we all know. Arsenal have been in negotiations with Paris Saint-Germain, according to France Football, and Arsenal have had a strong interest in the player. And I think from the own player's perspective, Christopher Nkunku, he wants to make the move to reunite with Remy because he's failed to get first team football this season under Thomas Tuchel as Christopher Nkunku, and he's only 21 years of age, so it would be good for him to experience the Premier League. He'll grow and develop, and do you think he'll mould under Remy? Do you think he'll complement Arsenal's team very, very well, this Christopher Nkunku, as we all currently know? So we will see what happens. So anyway, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider. Okay, God bless. See you all again soon, guys. Thank you.